Hey, this is Pastor Dave, and this is your Monday Mojo. Hope you had a great weekend. So this is a classic Monday Mojo, as in a wrap-up of what I tried to say yesterday in church on Sunday. And yesterday I was preaching on a difficult topic, forgiveness. Forgiveness. And there are always a lot of questions about, well, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And what does this mean? And one of the things I said was, in your practicing of forgiveness, and it is a practice, none of us ever get it perfectly right, is that you decide, you make a vow, whatever this wrong that was done to you, you're not going to throw it in the person's face, you're not going to bring it up, you're not going to go around and talk about it to other people, like, in other words, can you believe what she did to me or what he did to me? And you're not going to bring it up yourself, to yourself. That's probably the hardest one, not to keep bringing it up yourself. So one of the questions that arose out of that was, so let's say somebody does something to you that's really harmful and could be harmful to other people or harmful to another situation. Does that mean you don't talk about it? For instance, in my own personal life, I had a person who perpetrated a lot of damage on my family. And this was a professional person. And I can forgive that person, but at the same time, I had to make sure that I took steps to make sure that that person couldn't do that again to other people. That's not forgiving. That's just making sure that things get done correctly. And really, the most beautiful picture of that is the cross. Because something happens at the cross. Justice and mercy are put together. See, that's the hard thing about forgiveness is when I exercise mercy, what about the justice part? What about getting it right? What about making sure that what happened to me doesn't happen again? And on the cross, there was justice. The justice was that you and I we're really broken people, and we've done a lot of sinning, and every single sin that we do is against God. It may be against somebody else, but ultimately it's against one of his creatures, it's against his systems, it's against his nature, whatever it is. We are sinners and we're broken. And so in order for there to be the heaven that we want to go to, where there is no brokenness, there had to be some justice. Those sins had to be paid for. And so that justice was met there. And yet also at the same time, this was a sinless man, a man who had never done anything wrong, was God himself, and allowed himself to be killed by us, to be crucified. That's mercy. That is forgiving us before we've ever come to him and asked for it. That's mercy. So when you're talking about forgiveness, understand that sometimes there are things that need to be dealt with. And because you deal with them does not mean you aren't practicing forgiveness. It just means this particular situation needs to be dealt with. So I wanted to make sure and clear that up today in case anybody's saying, oh, somebody did something really heinous to my child and I can't talk about it. No, that's not the case at all. There can still be forgiveness. There can be practicing of forgiveness that you don't throw it in the person's face, you don't go around talking about it with others, and you don't bring it up yourself. But if you need to go talking with others, like law enforcement, you got to do that. That's not forgiveness. That's just being wise in this world where justice doesn't always happen the way we want it to. Anyway, that's your Monday Mojo. That's a good wrap up, I hope, for yesterday. And to give you a little bit of a hint, we're going to keep going there this coming Sunday as we prepare to enter the season of Lent. Have a great week.